You have to have a program that is geared specifically to the community that you want to serve. You have to have someone from that community to be able to steer and guide the message and take the message to that community because they're a part of that community. And so our multicultural donation education program does exactly that. It lends a voice and it lends an ear that people want to know more information, and people are like sponges. Once we tell them the benefits and how they can be involved, I think we all want to be involved in something. And my message is, if you're going to be involved in something, why not organize tissue donation?
Where there are people, there's a message for us to spend time sharing the importance of eye, organ, and tissue donation. Every opportunity is an opportunity. So if there are 5 people, that's an opportunity for us to educate, because we educate those 5 and they educate another 5, and so on and so on. Another way to ensure that our message goes forth is to allow an open forum so that our community can ask questions. We open ourselves and with a knowledge base that we feel comfortable with, so that the community can ask those questions, so that they can be armed with information to go out and make those decisions to become organ, eye, and tissue donors.
We have to be consistent in our message. We have to be diligent. We have to show up. And we have to be resources for the community, because when you start trusting an individual or start trusting a organization, you see better results. And that's what we've had over the 28 years that I've been here, is consistency. And we have a consistent message, and we build a lot of trust within the community and throughout the state of Georgia.
When we meet families, we meet them in the ICUs, we meet them in the ERs, we meet them at our major hospitals, at smaller hospitals throughout the state of Georgia in their time of need, to be able to provide them with timely information and provide them with the space to be able to make a thoughtful decision about organ and tissue donation. For minorities, there are many barriers that prevent them from being able to have a thoughtful opportunity to say yes to organ donation. And what the MDEP program has provided is information directly to the community that gives them the opportunity to discuss it with their family and their loved ones before they enter an ICU or an emergency room, so they can say yes to organ and tissue donation and really honor their loved one in the most respectful way.
When we focus on the African American and Hispanic communities specifically, it has really changed the perception of life. It's changed the perception of organ, eye, and tissue donation, because we're able to provide not only information and education, we're also able to provide through our volunteers people who've been through it. We provided recipients and families who've donated their loved ones' organs and let them share their story. And what that does, it gives hope to people and say, well, you know, if you can do it, why can't I do it?
My husband had helped me that morning with getting my daughter ready for us to go out of town. And he made sure everything was ready, and he headed on. And fortunately, I had recently gotten caller ID, and the phone rang. I wasn't familiar with Wellstar, just wasn't familiar with that hospital, but something told me to answer. And then that's when I found out he had been in an accident. And we finally got to the hospital, and I learned of his circumstances. I knew that he was still alive, but had gone into surgery. I realized that his situation was critical. A little later that day, I got an opportunity to meet Bobby Howard, and that's when I learned about the possibility, or at least considering, my husband becoming an organ donor.
Life is precious, in that at some point in time that we have to make a decision on what we want to do with our life. And if we sit by and do absolutely nothing, 0 lives will be saved.
My father realized that he knew that Stan wanted to be an organ donor, and he showed me his personal license, and he said they had talked about it. That's when I agreed, and in the background, they were already trying to look for, possible matches, and that's how I learned, more about LifeLink.
Most families, they want their loved one to be remembered, honored, and respected. And one way to do that is to honor the decision to be an organ donor on their driver's license. And that's another thing that MDEP is able to provide for them to be comfortable and to trust when they put their name on their driver's license, that we're going to do everything possible to honor their loved one's wishes.
The fact that he could help others as a result of his death, that would be something that he would like to do.
We're able to help that family and give them the option of helping other people live. And that's the exciting part. And then the follow-up, being able to work with these families, give them information about what organs were able to be transplanted, and how the recipients are doing. And it helps families through that grieving process.
I heard from everybody that received an organ from him, all the way down to the last person, the person who received his heart. I was able to tell my daughter those stories because she was only 8 months old. I think that helped both of us with the healing process as to the loss of his life.
There's a need for not only African Americans, Hispanic, Caucasians, everyone. There is a need for people to learn about donation, be educated, make an educated decision to talk to their families about donation.
As a former football player with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I thought that was my life's purpose. I was going to be this great athlete. When I was found out that my kidneys failed and I had to start dialysis, and when I received my transplant, I knew this was my purpose. I knew this was my purpose, to serve others, to help others understand how important life is that we all have the ability to give life to someone else. And that's what I want to do. That's why I'm here, because I want those who are waiting to have the same benefits and the same joy that I've had to receive a life-saving transplant and to continue my life. So this is not my job. This is a part of my life.
It is one of the simplest things that we can give. Why not? Why not be a donor? Why not change a life? Why not leave a legacy?
To be able to say yes and give life to someone, that is honorable, and we commend you and we honor your loved ones for being able to save lives through organ and tissue donation.
It will help your families with the grieving process, especially if you have children. Knowing that their parent was a hero. They may have saved 5 to 7 lives.
For anyone who is faced with the decision to donate your organs or your family members' organs, LifeLink is the organization for you. The information about the process, what to expect, they're there and a constant resource. My husband passed in September of 2000, and I am still connected with Bobby Howard and the LifeLink organization.
If you are out there and you are thinking about becoming an organ and tissue donor, let me tell you from my standpoint, as a 28-year kidney recipient, you have the power to make a decision to save and affect so many lives. So please consider becoming an organ and tissue donor today and become someone's hero.